What's up? Speed Shak Garage. We're going to be building some stuff on this BMW that might light it up. Here's what I've got planned today and hopefully execute in an okay fashion. And that's remounting these hella fog lights. Originally, these were on the car when I bought them. 10 years ago, I remember bending this bracket on the side of the curb with a hammer and smashing it till I got the right angle, and then probably using 4 drill bits just to drill through this little 1/4-inch steel. But I ended up getting it, and I had them mounted through this hole where there was other fog lights that were terrible. Got rid of those. Put in my signature little desktop cable organizer, and I had mounted them through here. They went down. There we go. That's how I had them. So I had them mounted like this, which I like. I don't mind the little lower rally look for them, but this is just bent. It's not great looking. It's rusted, and I want to try to improve this today. So we're going to be building probably a small bar that's going to come out of the same holes and goes across the whole thing. Then we can kind of mount our lights wherever we want it. Plus, it'll kind of look like a little light bar. We could add more lights if we need more lights. And to be honest, I probably won't get around to wiring them today because I'm going to do it the right way and not just splice them together. Let's get started. I'm going to go through the scrap like I always do to see what I could find to come out here and come around. And then I'm going to get this up in the air, get underneath, and see how we're going to mount it to the body itself and make it also be able to disconnect. I don't want to weld it on there and never be able to take it off. So let's get started. Dug through the scrap pile, found some like 1/2-inch tubing, which is exactly what I was looking for, and some pre-bent tubing. So the goal is to place this center of our grill, something like that, and that way that bend is there. We can mount our lights here and here. So let's see what we're working with underneath, because that's the hardest part I'm going to try to sort out is how to get it to mount underneath. All right. Here we go. There's that pipe coming through. And there's some terrible brake ducts that I want to redo. But there's our hole already. So we could bring it through. And we're going to make sure this is level with the car. So my guess is to maybe mount a plate here that we can either weld or bolt in, because there's nothing there. This has been boxed off by myself here. And then a smaller piece, so then this tube will just slide into that one, and we can just put a pin through there and it'll hold it. That's my idea so far. So yeah, I'm gonna grab some scrap metal. We'll start sorting that out, I think. And then once I get it figured out, we're gonna have to make sure we keep this level. And that's gonna be the harder part. But I could get my angle finder, and I think what I'll do is put it on like this, that I know is level. Find that angle, match it with that angle. Everything will be level, I think. Scrap pile gives again. What is it? Scrap pile is it. If you ask, you shall receive. I literally found a perfect little square cut already No idea why, but I found another sheet of this, so I'm gonna cut another square this exact size, because if I look through the hole, it's gonna be hard to, there it is. This is gonna fit perfectly right there. And that's exactly what I want. And then we can get our tube to come through and hit it. So now it's all about the angles and everything. What I'm going to do first is drill the holes for this, bolt it in. I'm gonna kind of eyeball it just to see where it should be sitting. I'll do some measurements, do the other one. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna bolt those plates on first, and then we can stick our piece of metal in there and see where it lands, mark it, pull it all off, weld it. Wait a minute. Did you guys just think of what I thought of? Because if I weld this bar to this piece of metal, it won't go through that hole. So we are gonna have to weld a stud onto here to then go through our bumper, or else it is permanent. Hey, good job looking out for me there. Back in front of this BMW again, because I was going through, this is an old bent control arm thing that would go here. But guess what? Fits in there pretty good. I mean, it's not perfect, but I think if we pinned it, it'd be okay. Maybe we'll add a little tape, but that fits perfectly. And I believe this is just steel. So my idea, since this is going to be angled anyways, like that, I think you can see where I'm going. I'm just going to lob off this right here, and then I could just weld this onto there and make a nice clean look, and then this will just come off and on. And also, if I remember right, there should be holes. Is there not for this? No, there isn't. But we could drill holes. So anyways, this is just going to work, I hope. There's a lot of rusty metal, so we're going to have to work on cleaning it up. But that's going to be bolted together. This is just going to slide right in, and we are going to be set. I'm actually kind of excited that this will work out pretty well. I think we got a good game plan going. I'm going to get these pads marked, drilled, and bolted on so we could start building off from the front. So we're going to grab our speed square, because you always keep that in your pocket. Sharpie. We're going to mark our 4 holes. Yeah, we'll go about 1/2 inch in. That is where we're going to be drilling. Boop, boop, boop. And then I think what my plan is to do is to use some self-tappers, temporary. So we're gonna drill the holes and we use the self-tappers to hold these in, just in case they're not in the exact spot. I can then move them. Then we'll go about putting the riv nuts in, the bolts and hardware, because I don't know if I have enough hardware for 8. All right, let's get the drill press going, because I haven't used that in a while, and it might be a lot easier to drill all these with that. Beautiful. There we go. And then you can see how off that thing is, but we'll come in and clean these up. So I'm going to knock out that other one real quick, bring you back. We're going to get them bolted into the car and see how we're going to need to weld all this. There's probably a better way to figure this out, but I think just eyeballing it and making it line up. We're going to go with there, I think. Yeah, we're just going to leave it at 1, actually. That way we can, you can see now that it's in there. We're going to leave it at just that 1, so if it is way off, I only drilled 1 hole and not 4. Shoot, these self-tappers are pretty in there. Might as well just keep them. Yeah, I think so. I forget the whole car is at an angle. None of this is straight right now, so that's going to throw me off. Here we go. We are at I'm going to call that 8 degrees of angle. off of that flat bracket. Our engine 11. Yeah, I'm going to go off of this bracket. I feel like that's probably the most levelest thing on this car. So we're going to give it 8 degrees on the tube itself. So now I'll take my straight tube. I'm going to take this. I'm going to hold it in here. I'm going to get a general idea. Close. Okay, so that's pretty much where it's going to want to sit. So now I'm going to cut our little control arms and stick those on and see if we can get that to sit at 8 degrees. Look at that. Right there, almost center of that square. So I guess I got something right. So we're going to cut this off, and then we're going to put this on and find our 8 degrees. And hopefully it all works out. That's perfect. So I'm going to measure here, cut these in half, drill my hole, pin it. Now I'm going to have a longer piece sticking out of the bumper. Just stick my angle finder on there, find out where this needs to go, and we're going to be good. And then it'll just slip right off. Could not find my tape measure, but I do know I'm not going to need more than probably 6 inches. So we're going to go there, and then there's 4, 2. And that's how you find the middle of the squeed square. Now, we'll take our piece that we're going to use for that, shove that in. So now those are done. I'm going to drill myself a little hole straight through the flat, straight through there. So I'm going to get my drill bit and cotter keys, and then we'll have our outposts done. 3 pieces. So I found these, they're a little bit thicker, which I like. They're a little bigger, but they're going to go all the way through. These will do, I think, just fine. We're going to mark that real quick. We're going to mark how far in this goes. Now we got power. Boom. Just take it nice and easy. Piece of whatever. Look at this. That will go through. We can just bend it, and it is. Oh, that's really. I mean, there's probably a million people that are like, oh, I could run it better, whatever. I have yet to buy anything. This is what I found lying around, and I like this a lot. Just pull this right on out. You can see we got it pretty well centered. Just look at it for a while. I know this is definitely low, like fabricating skills, but man, when something comes together like that, you just get excited. Like now these will just sit in there. Now let's figure out this angle to put these and start welding, finally. Okay, so I do believe I set 8 degrees on our bar. So we're gonna place that there. This is gonna sit through. I'm gonna probably keep it lower to the hole. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have it face me for a second, just to see, did we get lucky or am I gonna have to? So yeah, it's gonna be a little difficult because that's gonna be about 8 degrees right there. There's a little bit of a gap because they were coming out from the bottom. It's gonna come up a little higher now. And since it's already cut there, I'm just gonna kind of smooth this out. I took the hole saw, drilled out the center going off of this little bit here. That's what I made my center. And then it just wasn't big enough. So I had my sand paper, and glad I saved these little bits that I keep that come off. I don't know why, but they fit in there perfectly. I just went through it and just sanded off just a little bit. And Now, it fits in there perfectly. So we're gonna make this so it'll hold it. See, it still holds it. Or I'll just turn it upside down to hold our bar in place, and then we can kind of just work our angle. Everything is slowly working together, slowly coming together. All right, so we got both of them drilled out, and this, we'll turn it upside down for now to hold our piece. But as you can see, it is coming along. These BMW front ends, they V out. So if we were to go with that, they'd actually be sticking out, which I'm not completely opposed to, because then this will kind of come there and we'll make sure that is straight so it wouldn't look terrible. So that's probably what we're going to end up doing, is keeping this as straight as we can to the car and everything, using our angle finder. And then now it's just finding out what this angle is. That was my issue. So these are definitely going down, because if anything, if they were 0, they would be level. Now they're past 0, so they are definitely, if we were to lower the car, these would be facing downward. I don't want that. I'm gonna slide under here, give a peek at where it's at, and kind of get an idea what I'm doing. Ow, that's not bad. So we'll probably run it at 5 degrees. Okay, this is gonna be a struggle and then hurry up and weld kind of moment, because we're gonna get all of our ducks in a row and weld it and hopefully get a good tack that it holds. All right, mucho better. Cut out all those crappy welds so we can try to lay some nice thick beads in here. But I'm gonna test this out one more time to make sure it does fit before I go and really melt it in there. There is our bead. That's all it needs. It is not need to be too bad. We'll let this one cool off, because that electrical tape is a little smoky. And then let's move on to the second one. I'm gonna do it just real quick, get it done. That way we can at least get moving forward and the bar across and weld it. So next time you see it, hopefully both of these will be bolted on there, and I'll be sorting out the front piece. I am not hating this. Let me show you guys. I set the bar I'm gonna use in the middle, and we are barely off. So these are basically level to me, good enough. So now it's time to weld this bar onto here, and I'm gonna probably go off that bumper line. See that little indent? We're just gonna make it level with that. That way aesthetically it'll look good, even if it's not level with the rest of the thing, it'll look right with that. So yeah, this is gonna be some thinking, some marking, some double checking, and go from there. Don't have a tube notcher. We're gonna notch it ourselves with a grinding wheel. You get the gist. It'll sit in there like that. We could fill it with some of those welds. Not a big deal. But what I'm gonna do now is put these on the car. Put these on the car, put these up. I'm gonna tack weld everything, make sure it's all straight and cleaned and lip. There we go. It's not pretty. And that's something I didn't want to do, but I probably will. So I'm gonna have to Just fill a little gap in this one. We're gonna come off the center line of the car. Get this somewhat centered and where I think it should go. It's tacked on two sides, so it shouldn't move now. Because the thing is now, I'm going to pull it out, realizing these are, nope. These are both at like an angle. Because it's going to start coming out. It's going to start pulling it. I did not anticipate that. Okay, well, the only other thing I could think of is I unbolt it so these can be loose, which sucks because I just want to be able to slide it off, but stick it. Okay. The only thing I could think of is now unbolting it, sliding it on, and then rebolting it. Okay, and it's pinned. That's not bad. Like I said, it's gonna wiggle. We'll fix that. Holy shnikes. I measured everything is still very even, which is awesome. Next, I'm gonna pull it all back off. We're gonna cap these, kind of bevel them, I think, just give it a nice clean look. Then we're gonna weld our tabs on. I'm gonna show you where I'm gonna get my tabs from. I think it's kind of funny because this is everything I do is semi-budget. I could definitely make my own, but I don't want to. I'm never gonna use these tabs, but we're gonna cut them off the Baja here. So I'm gonna hopefully be able to get in there, cut these off because these are already drilled, somewhat bent. Those will fit nicely. There's another one over there and there. We're just gonna tack them on, kind of find a good spot here, put them in the middle. So I'm gonna do the same with this one, get those tacked on. Do the other one. There you go. We're gonna clean that up a little, but that's one on there. Alrighty. So yeah, the paint is still tacky on it. You know, the battery died and I just kept going and figured I might as well get a coat of paint on there. So at least we can give you a final product for the end of the day. Sounds like there's something in it. Oh well. So there it is. Brackets are tacked on, welded on. This side looking a lot better than that side by a lot. The corners are done. Not the best, but I'll take it. But I want to get this stuff on here so we could see how it looks for a finished product. Don't forget to put these through. So it's going to take some finessing. All right. And as you recall, it's unfortunate that I can't just slide it on as slick as I thought it was going to be. That kind of sucks. Here we go. Did I even check this? Okay. I forgot to check this even if these holes are big enough for these. They have been just floating around for the last 3 years while this car was off the road. And they are Grody. So we're going to get them cleaned up later. All right, I'm going to get this on the ground now. Woof. I like it. This is kind of how I've had the car for the longest time, so I'm glad to have these back on it. And I've always wanted to do this, but, you know, the capabilities were there years ago. And they're still not, but I attempted it, and it works. And we used what we had, and I'm pretty stoked. Covers up these holes that the previous owners had decided to cut in it. There we go. There's the underneath of the brackets and our wires sticking out. There you go. So that's all I got, folks. Thanks for watching. Another BMW project checked off my list. I'm avoiding the oil leaks and the bad bodywork and fixing it with fog lights. So thanks for watching. See you in the next one. It was cool to be here.